Tonight we have men and women's soccer highlights along with game summaries and stats from the volleyball team. And an exciting interview with Coach Waterbury, the head coach for the men's soccer team. So stay tuned because you're watching Cardinal Sports Live only on PSTV. Hello and welcome to Cardinal Sports Live. I am Jeff Beatty, joined by Ariel Miller. Ariel, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great. I wish it wasn't rainy outside.
Yeah, the rain is kind of depressing, but hey, we're here for a pick-me-up, right?
Let's go.
Good sports stories. So we're going to jump right into it as usual because, as we all know, this is the time of year where soccer is king at Plattsburgh State, and I don't think the men or women's team has done anything to disappoint this season. Both started out well, with the men jumping out to a 6-0 start before taking on Brockport and Geneseo, while the women were 4-1 after all of those games taking place on the road. And the Plattsburgh State men's soccer team opened up conference play Friday afternoon against SUNY Brockport. The Cardinals were looking for revenge after losing last year's SUNYAC championship game to Brockport in a shootout. Plattsburgh came into the game having not allowed a goal at home in 723 minutes of play, but also they have had trouble finding the back of the net. One of those streaks quickly came to an end in the 17th minute. Unfortunately for the Cardinals, it was the impressive scoreless streak. Mike Bremen scored the game's first goal when he had a shot straight on and snuck it in between goalie Andy Harrington and the post. 18 minutes later, Bremen scored again, giving the Golden Eagles a 2-0 lead in the 33rd minute of play. The scoring was capped off when Jeff Palumbo's corner kick found teammate Bobby Ross, who put it in the back of the net to give Brockport the 3-0 advantage in the 65th minute. The Golden Eagles held a 23-12 shot advantage in the game, and goalie Joe Moreno only had to stop 6 shots for the shutout. Goalies Andy Harrington and Mike Lind combined for 8 saves in the net for the Cardinals. The Cardinals' record falls to 6-1-1 on the year and 0-1 in conference, while the Golden Eagles remain perfect at 5-0-2 and 1-0 in conference. So tough way for the Cardinals to open up a conference play. But
definitely. So you're saying that this is the first game since last season that someone's opposing team scored on a goal?
Yes. Union was the last team to score here in Plattsburgh on October 10th last year. So wow. Defense was key.
Definitely.
Impressive, right? But looking to bounce back from their home loss to Brockport, the men's team was back in action on Saturday, taking on Geneseo in another SUNYAC conference game. The Cardinals did bounce back, and in a big way. The offense, who has been struggling to score goals this season, didn't have a problem with that, as it scored 3 against Geneseo. The scoring got started late in the first half when Matt Hamilton put a rebound off the crossbar of Chris Taylor's direct kick past the Geneseo goalie to give Plattsburgh the 1-0 lead. The score would remain the same until the 54th minute when Geneseo's goalie lost sight of a Chris Taylor direct kick that ended up in the back of the net. With just less than 10 minutes to go, Hamilton added his second goal of the game to give the Cardinals the 3-0 victory. Plattsburgh outshot Geneseo 17-14, including 11-5 in the second half. Goalie Andy Harrington recorded yet again another shutout on the season. While he saved 5 shots, the win evens Plattsburgh's conference record at 1-1 and pushes their overall record to 7-1-1. Geneseo falls to 3-4-1 overall and 1-1 in conference play. The Cardinals take to the road this weekend with games against rival Oswego and against Cortland. So, good way for the men's team to bounce back, score 3 goals, blank Geneseo 3-0 after being blanked themselves 3-0.
Right, so they couldn't get the first game down, but they got it together and got the second one.
They're 1-1, still in the hunt for conference. So.
And next we have 2 on the road.
Yep.
All right. Well, this past Friday, the women's soccer team began its SUNY Athletic Conference season, starting at Brockport and ending the weekend at Geneseo. Being on the road seems not to be a problem for the women, who have a 5-1 record with 5 of the 6 games being on the road. The Cardinals are outscoring their opponents 10-7. Going into the games, Brockport was 4-3 overall and 0-1 in the conference, while Geneseo was 5-1 overall and 1-0 in the conference. The women's soccer team showed an outstanding performance Friday with their win over Brockport. With 53 seconds left in the second half, Lindy Kaiser served the ball across the field to Kayla Rabideau, who volleyed it into the net from 8 yards out, breaking the 1-1 tie, boosting the Cardinals to a 2-1 win. The first goal also came towards the end of the half. Late in the first half, Lauren Gagne battled for the ball and got it to Lindsay Kaiser, who scored from 30 yards out. Brockport held a 20-14 advantage in shots, and Alina Greaser made 13 saves in the Plattsburgh nets. Coach Karen Waterbury says it was a good team effort and a good start to the conference season.
So good for the women to get that first conference win out of the way, and better to be on top of the competition than being 0-1.
Especially away.
Yeah, especially away. Silence the opposing crowd. That's good for them.
Definitely. Well, with one win down, the women's soccer team took on the defending conference champions, Geneseo, on Saturday. The teams played for 110 minutes but came up scoreless at the end of the game. Geneseo held a slight advantage in shots, 10-12, and both teams had 4 corner kicks apiece. In the second half, Plattsburgh had the best chances to score, outshooting Geneseo 3-2. Senior Liz Radigan led the Cardinals with 3 shots, followed by Emily Lalone with 2. Early in the second half, Kings defender Ashley Kehoe got a hold of a Cardinals ball right before it hit the goal line. Then late in the seconds, the Cardinals scored off a corner kick, but the goal was disallowed when it was ruled out of bounds. Geneseo won the penalty kick tiebreaker 4-3 to determine the tie in conference standings.
So good.
They got the first win, but not too well in the second one.
110 minutes without scoring.
Without one score.
Get one call back, get one blocked, and then lose by
but,
one.
But Coach Waterbury says that pretty much they won the game. To her, they did a great job and they won the game, but in the score, they didn't really win.
Yeah, lose by 1. Yeah. That's okay. It's still 1-1.
Right. Well, with 2 good road game performances this past weekend, the women's soccer team is moving right along in the conference with home games. Tomorrow night against 5-3 Oswego, and Saturday afternoon against 5-2 Cortland. Both Oswego and Cortland are coming off impressive wins, so this weekend will be no cakewalk for the Cardinals. In Oswego's last game, they equaled their first half total of shots with 9 in the second half, while not allowing their opponents to score a single shot. And Cortland is coming off their 3rd straight win. Tomorrow night, the game starts at 4 p.m. and Saturday they play at 1. So these will be no easy games for the Cardinals.
No, not at all but they'll be home.
They'll be home.
And you'll get in for free yet again.
So make sure you go out and shop.
I don't know how many times I've
to
say this.
Go support.
Sell out.
Well, we are going to take a short break, but stay tuned because later on we have an interview with the head coach of the men's soccer team, Coach Waterbury.